There's some serious changes to the way shaders are going to be rendered in the next few years. For the longest time, shaders have just been an extension of Minecraft's OpenGL rendering system. But now, this is all going to change. What does this mean? Well, this is really important for both players and developers. There's been a bunch of mods over the past few years that have tried to implement another form of shader injection, or shader support. This all started with Optifine, which was released in 2011 but didn't receive shader support until 2015. However, the modding community was always skeptical of Optifine because it seems like it wasn't fully utilizing one's GPU or CPU, and the performance and optimization on Optifine has always been questioned. It's not until recently has Optifine been known as not the best performance enhancing mod, which at the time it was revolutionary because we had never seen a performance enhancing mod and Optifine was the first to do this. However, fast forward a few years later and the first build of Sodium was released. Now, Sodium is still regarded as the best performance mod in Minecraft. Besides Vulkan mod, which we'll get into later, Sodium, when combined with Iris for shader support, is still on top, hands down. I still don't think it's going to get better than Sodium in terms of performance enhancement. Like, they just do an incredible job at optimizing and preventing lag spikes, and overall just allows for very smooth gameplay. By the way, before I go any further, if you are a TikTok live creator, yes, a TikTok live creator, and you want to build your audience, or you already have an audience and you want to grow it even further, I've started a TikTok live creator platform where you can join and we can all empower each other through TikTok. If you just need that additional push, that support from other creators, you want a stable community that you can build off of, I just started this creator platform. And best of all, unlike other creator agencies, this one is purely built off of a community. This is probably the first creator agency where community plays the biggest role. And the best of all, you keep 100% of your earnings. The only time I earn revenue is when you earn revenue. And on top of that, for reaching certain diamond goals, there's cash incentives on top of the money you already make. So it's a win-win. If you're interested, I include the link in my bio. All right, now back to the video. Now, I know this video would literally be useless if I didn't test out some of these mods. So I went ahead and I downloaded Focal Engine, and you actually need a Continuum subscription for this. So I went ahead and paid the $10 a month, and I ran some tests with this new mod. And keep in mind, this mod supports full RTX hardware acceleration. So this is a huge jump in the shader community. We've never yet seen this in a Java shader. The only shaders that have had full RTX support have been in Bedrock. Now, I know this mod is still in very early development, but for my testings, I was really disappointed in the way that the lighting interacted and that you could literally see the voxels being traced in real time, which I mean is pretty cool, seeing that you can see the RTX acceleration take place in real time. But for the time being, this mod is actually really unoptimized and really unstable. First and foremost, shout out to the creator, because I think this is amazing how we're finally getting RTX implementation into Minecraft. But for the time being, there's actually huge drawbacks to this. The first one being that this still runs on Optifine. I don't know what the creator's intention was to build this on Optifine. Maybe it was just hard to implement into Iris, but it's a huge drawback, and that already cuts down on performance so much. I remember running shaders on Optifine in 2015, 2016, and just knowing how they ran so badly compared to other games that had graphics that were way more intense than Minecraft shaders and were running 10 times better. So in this clip, I'm running at 1440p because everyone was going off on me for running in 5K because they said that was the reason for my horrible performance, which just isn't true because the 4090 is actually a complete beast and it can run up to 8K pretty well. But I did switch to 1440 just so we can get a realistic test. I am at 1440, so this is a normal person resolution, I guess you could say. Honestly, the performance was pretty bad. I know, again, it's an early development, but I don't think this is the problem with the Focal Engine because it does support the full RTX. I think this is the problem with Optifine. It's just so outdated. I think we need to just move on from Optifine. And again, I don't know if this is a compatibility issue or anything like that, but the appearance of the voxels on the screen and all the noise reduction and all that is just really distracting and annoying. It's too frustrating to actually play with. For screenshots, it's fine, because when you stand still, they all go away. But for practical playing applications, like, this is pretty much unusable. So the shader in the last few clips was actually Continuum RT. So that's their own shader. The shader I'm showing now is Rethinking Voxels, and the performance is worse than Iris and Sodium. I ran a test with this shader, 1440, same settings, and I was getting 120 to 130 FPS, but in this clip I was getting just under 70. I was barely pushing past 70. And then in 5K in Iris with Rethinking Voxels, I was actually getting the same frame rate as Focal Engine in 1440. So you're probably thinking, what's the future of RTX shaders then? Seeing as Focal Engine uses Optifine and pretty much every shader has stopped support for Optifine. They've all transferred to Iris. Well, a few years ago, there was a mod pack called Vulcanite, going back into the Vulcan mod, which I was mentioning earlier. It includes that. And that mod is supposed to be even better than Sodium for performance optimization. And the creator of the Vulcanite mod pack, I guess, made a fork of the Vulcan mod. So it's only available when you use the Vulcanite mod pack. And it allows you to run shaders with Vulcan mod, which you normally can't do with the mod by itself. And the performance is supposed to be absolutely incredible. It's supposed to be better than anything Iris and Sodium can offer. And it's fully RTX, hardware accelerated. Now, I couldn't even test it. I don't know what happened. I tried so many different instances of the Vulcan mod. I tried it without mods, tried it with other support mods. It just wouldn't load. So if the developer of the mod is watching, please explain to me maybe why this is happening. I just thought it was weird how it kept crashing and there was literally no way for me to get this to work. But for the time being, I could only test Focal Engine. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments about the future of shaders, because I really think it's gonna be going somewhere else. Somewhere we never expected it to go. And I think full RTX support is definitely gonna happen in the future. I've heard rumors that Iris is already developing an RT support, so they're probably reworking their system as we speak, which would actually be amazing. Imagine Sodium and Iris with RTX support. That would be insane. And remember, if you're a TikTok live creator, be sure to apply to join the agency. When you're partnered with us, there's an even higher chance of revenue. All right, y'all. Till next time.